How you going, Carly? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Oh, you just cut out then.
Am I all good?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I think you're back now. That's cool. Hey, it's good to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
for jumping.
really like what you do.
Oh, cheers. Thank
Yeah.
you.
The new Teenage Jones album, The Rot That Grows Inside My Chest, is out now everywhere. I love it. I got a little sneaky peek before it dropped. But how's the response been from your point of view, seeing it out there in the world now?
Oh, it's been really good. We did like a launch pop-up party on Friday and just we had the response was crazy. We had like 500-ish, give or take, people come through the door and yeah, it was just cool to like meet everyone and hear their opinions on the album. Everyone really loved it, which is cool. It's cool to hear like everyone's favorite song and stuff. I feel like you don't really get that with the internet. You kind of get like a half like, yeah, we like it, but in real life, you really feel the sincerity. So yeah, it was cool.
Absolutely. That's cool. That's really cool. Was that the one where you did the where you were at the record store?
No, but we did do that in the afternoon. We had like a pop-up where we just sold a bunch of merch and we were there signing and taking photos and we had like a tattoo artist doing free tattoos and like we printed like temporary tattoos for people who aren't of age and stuff like that. So yeah,
Oh, that's unreal. See, it's good that you included everybody
yeah,
and didn't get any
absolutely.
sneaky real tattoos in for any underage people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a good day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But the thing I love about the album is it isn't a straight up pop punk album or rock album. It's got quite a few different musical layers and it plays around with, timings and sounds, and each song has its own personality. A lot of care went into this record. Did it flow like that when you guys were creating it?
I mean, yeah, like it's funny because we've kind of started writing it in 2019 up until last year, so
Mm.
2022. So it's like 3 years of sort of pumping songs out in between tour. Um, and yeah, we love these songs, and I think like recording them was so much fun because we just had so many ideas for what we wanted to do in every song. I mean, as you said, like there is a lot of care in the album. Every
Hmm.
song, pretty much every bar of every song has its own little feeling to it, which is cool. Like we really wanted to pay attention to exactly where the song goes and why it goes where it goes, kind of thing.
Did a lot change from, like the seeds of those songs from just jamming to taking them into the studio? Did
Um,
anything sort of.
yeah, I mean, there's songs like Kaleidoscopes, which came out exactly as we intended it to come out, which is cool. And then there's songs like Yoke, which we never put drums to until we got in the studio, and it just came out this like crazy, almost like weird alternative pop, like indie song. So yeah, depending on the song, like some of them turned out exactly the way we wanted, and then some of them changed a lot. But yeah, they all came out in the end exactly how we wanted, and yeah.
That's unreal. That's unreal. But another thing is that it's got that modern rock sound, but it's also got some really heavy riffage as well that reminds me of like stuff that I grew up listening to, like in the 90s, like Super Jesus, for example. Like I
Mm,
don't know if it's intentional, but I hear a little bit of Sarah McLeod in there,
yeah.
with some of the vocals and maybe some of the chord progressions. Like, was that, I mean, obviously maybe that's not intentional, but is that a bit of an influence there?
Um, I mean, like Super Jesus are awesome, but I wouldn't say it's influenced by them specifically. But the '90s, I feel like the '90s and early 2000s, like grunge sound definitely shines through. Like I grew up on, my parents loved like Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Silverchair, Grinspoon, like bands like that, which yeah, I grew up on. And then
Mm.
I think somehow they've just made its way into my subconscious and come out. I don't know about Talia. I think she'd be pretty similar in terms of like growing up on our parents' music taste. But um, yeah, a lot of '90s influence definitely isn't intentional, but it's cool that it's like sitting in the back of our minds and we can sort of carry on that sound because we love Yeah, we love 90s music.
It's in the blood. Your
Yeah.
parent,
Yeah.
do parents dig it? Like your folks,
Yep.
they.
Oh, they love it. Like, my
That's all.
dad's in Perth at the moment visiting some family, and he sent me a text just like this earlier this afternoon, and he was like, "It's amazing." Like, he loves it so much. So
Oh,
yeah, it's cool.
that is very cool. That is very, very cool. But it's loved by so many people as well and embraced across the board. You know, you guys seem to be really appealing to not only the younger generation, but there's also, the older I wouldn't say older I'm an older dude. Let's say, like, you know, I'm an old man. Let's just say it. But, people of all ages are, popping up saying that how much they loved you guys. Do you think you've cracked the code in that aspect? Do you think you've worked out what is missing for a lot of bands these days?
Um, yeah, maybe. Like, I think we're just doing what we love, and like, I think also like we love 5 Seconds of Summer. Like, they're a huge influence for us, and I think them almost like putting guitars back onto mainstream radio before it was cool. I feel like it's kind of cool again now, but
Yes.
them doing that in that sort of 2014, 2015 space where pop stations were playing like a lot of trashy pop
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
I think that was super inspiring to us, and they've got like a sort of that punk rock spirit as well. Like, it doesn't just it, it translates live. Like, we love the way that they were just always so energetic live and so like confident about it in this sort of era.
Mm.
Because like back in the 90s and stuff, it was obviously very common, but it's not so common nowadays. So we love that we're sort of combining pop music. It's almost like pop songs that sound like rock songs, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's got all the hooks.
Yeah,
It's catchy as hell.
yeah.
You go, yeah, you guys know what you're doing. But one thing about the album that I've noticed is it seems a little bit darker, a lot darker, not just visually, musically a little bit
Mm,
than your previous stuff. Is
yeah.
that from the time period that it's come from, like everything that's happened, or is that more of a personal journey of yours?
Um, I think like a bit of both. I think like personally, we've just lived a lot more. Like, our first EP, we wrote that when we were like 15, 16, 17. So
Mm,
like, we're still finishing up school and just like starting to see the world as it is. And I think the older you get, the more you see, what the world really is like.
yeah,
And like this record details like things like first heartbreak and like having relationship problems and stuff like that. So, which is something we hadn't really gone into before. So it's cool that I think the theme of sweet things rotting really translates through from the EP, which was very like sweet and like candy,
yes,
sugar coated kind of thing. And this is like the maturing of that, which is actually why we named the interlude Sweet Things Rot, because we wanted to sort of it goes into the metaphorical sense of the album, but it's also sort of a literal sense of like we we as musicians are maturing, and rotting doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Like, it can just mean you're shedding your old skin, and
hmm
like change is coming. And yeah.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that a lot. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I did notice that you released a couple of live videos. They weren't actual like video clips.
Yeah.
It was, and I like that it was raw and really showed that you girls are a real rock band.
Yeah.
You're not just playing it up. Like, what was the motivation behind that?
Um, well, to be really honest with you, we did record a couple music videos for the album, and they just didn't turn out the way we wanted. So
Ah,
we recalled them, and we said, let's do some live videos for now, and we're working on something that's like a lot bigger and a lot better, and so like a visual aspect to the album that's just like exactly what we want. So it's a bit belated because we've had some technical difficulties, but there is a visual aspect to the album which is coming at some point, hopefully early next year, which will be cool.
does it tie in with the like the album art and stuff like that? Is that the sort of direction
Yeah.
you're delving into?
Yeah, so we've got like I won't say too much, but it definitely dives into the sort of all the visuals stem from Candy Apple and Super Glue, very
Yeah.
much like the Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy stuff and candy apples, and there's lots of chaos. It's going to be very cool. We're very excited at some point to announce it and do stuff, but we're still working on it for now.
Oh, that's cool. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be because I love that album art. It reminds me of like little, I don't know, little Tim Burton, little Mark Ryden.
Yeah,
You know, I love all
yeah.
that stuff.
It's definitely the whole theme of the album is definitely very like Tim Burton, Alice in Wonderland, sort of um that kind of thing inspired. Just that spooky, like
Yeah,
spooky, not spooky, weird, not weird kind of, you know, that pretty but weird aesthetic, which we love.
I love it. I love it. And you're hitting the road, and you're kicking off in Brisbane, which is that way a little
Yeah.
bit because I'm on the Gold Coast. But
Oh, true.
November 2nd, which is the night before my birthday, so I might have to
Oh,
come and
sick.
celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you excited to be, hitting the road and taking this album to the people?
Yeah, we're so keen. I mean, we've put together a show that I think really encapsulates where we're gonna head in the future. We're still keeping it authentic. It's still just the two of us on stage, but I think this will safe to say this is going to be our best show that we've put on yet. So we're really excited. It's going to be cool. And the supports, Bella AMOR,
Mm.
DULCIE, and ALEKSIAH, we're very keen to have them on board. They're just our friends, and we just love their music. And yeah, it's going to be a really cool time. So yeah, we're so keen.
That's what it's all about, hey. Like it's just getting out there with your mates and
Yeah,
oh man, it's gonna be unreal. And you're opening for Foo Fighters as well, right?
yeah,
Hectic.
crazy, hectic.
Like,
Um,
how's
yeah, I mean,
prep for that?
I know. I feel like it's funny because like we have this run of like Grapevine Festival, and then we've got the tour, and then we've got Foo Fighters, and it feels like Grapevine's preparation for the tour, and then
Mm.
tour's preparation for Foo Fighters. Like we're not we're not preparing for our tour, we're preparing for Foo Fighters because that's just like obviously the biggest thing that I feel like the biggest achievement that you could ever get as a band is to be asked to perform with the band Foo Fighters. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. So yeah, we're stoked. We're so excited. I mean, we grew up on them, so yeah, it's so cool. So
I bet your
excited.
parents are stoked too.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I remember in school, I actually did my research project. I don't know if you have that in Gold Coast. Maybe we have this thing in Adelaide called research project, which is like this huge, basically a huge essay on a topic of our choice. And my topic was I wanted to study, I guess, the um, contemporary impact of Nirvana's music and what
Yeah.
they did in the 90s to change music maybe forever. And I remember my dad told me I love him, but he doesn't understand how the internet works. And he was like, I reckon you could probably just email Dave Grohl and ask him like to be a reference on your research project. And I was like, Dad, I
Oh,
love you, but there's no way Dave Grohl would respond to my email if I could even find his email. But now it's crazy because it's like the full 360 of like, I might be able to meet Dave Grohl and be like, hey, dude, like I did this research project on music you were a part of creating. So pretty crazy. But yeah,
yeah.
My parents are stoked. All our parents are stoked.
Oh man, that's like the dream. Hey, I reckon you will. You'll get to. He's. I've got a long history of missing Dave Grohl by like 5 minutes
Oh,
throughout since
dude.
1998. I've got a very long history
Oh
of it.
no.
It's almost comical to the point where he drove past on a scooter. Where the one where he got arrested was out front of my
Oh,
house, my old house.
really?
Yeah,
Oh
and
my God, that's crazy.
the day he went to the courthouse, I was in the same place. It's a long running
That's
thing.
insane.
So
Wow.
maybe I should have just emailed him, like your
Yeah,
dad said.
maybe.
Dave Grohl at hotmail.com
I'm
or
sure
whatever.
that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure
That
that's what it is.
that makes sense. But yeah, that's
But
crazy.
yeah, it's gonna
Maybe
be
this
unreal.
time.
Nah,
This time.
foiled again. But are you planning on hitting overseas?
Yeah, we've got some overseas stuff in the works for next year, but we're sort of still dipping our toes in. We're just like trying to get people to notice us over there. I think hopefully after this album they will, but yeah, we're planning stuff.
Yeah, that's unreal. That's unreal. But what else is next? What's 2024 look like for you guys?
I think 2024 is just going to be a lot of touring. I mean, we've got as I said before, we'll have some visual aspects to the album come out, which is it's its whole thing, and everyone will find out soon enough. But it's very exciting. And yeah, just touring. I think hopefully just trying to get our album out there, and yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be cool. We're excited.
And I'm excited for you. You know, you worked hard. You've made an incredible album, and you know, it looks bright for you guys. So, you know, here's to you. Well, I've got water, but cheers to you guys.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have all the links down here in the show notes and on the website. Cahli, take care, my friend. We'll see you in Brisbane.
Yeah,
and
cool.
go kick some ass.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.